Everyday life, from the significant to the petty. Time now for Christy Gustafson Barletti on 107.7 GNA.
And Christy's segment this morning is sponsored by Ideal Image. Get 60% off laser hair removal at Ideal Image, the advanced med spa. Visit idealimage.com. Here she is, the golden goose, the KGB, the content queen, Gusta Rhymes.
Hello.
Christy Gustafson Barletti, Times Union, timesunion.com. Good morning, and thank you for jumping on a little earlier with us. We appreciate it.
Good morning. Yeah, definitely. Well, I think this is a fun topic, and it's definitely one that people seem to either be able to relate to or have an opinion on.
I don't know that it's a fun topic.
Well, it's a fun topic because it causes debate, and debate
is good.
It's fun for Christy.
It can be a controversial.
It can be fun.
It can certainly be
fun
controversial.
as long as people aren't attacking me. I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah, right. And Christy's like, it's fun as long as you guys are doing it.
Right.
And I like to see when people have different perspectives and different opinions, and they definitely did with this one. So what happened was a reader wrote into me and was talking about a wedding ring, and her mom had died, and they were saying, who should get the ring? Should I get the ring or should my sister get the ring? So this spawned a bigger topic for us to ask readers and listeners about what experiences they've had when somebody has died in a family and kind of how you divvy up those mementos and those heirlooms when they're not willed.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things that aren't willed is because they really don't have any monetary value, but they have so much emotional and sentimental value.
So true.
That becomes the big thing, the thing that everybody kind of wants.
At the very least, we might learn today that you should have a will. Just list some things.
Most people do, like you would think. I mean, when my friend Joe passed away, which is going on about 2.5 years, he didn't have one. And, then there was issues with, who's his next of kin? And it was very, very complicated. So we sort of divvied it up how we saw fit. Some people had some issues with it, but at the end of the day, somebody has to make a decision. It's not always that easy, though, when it's siblings going
Absolutely.
at it.
When it's blood.
Friends, it was
relatives.
a little bit different because that's what Joe was. He was surrounded by, all of us friends. We were his family. But I would imagine it gets pretty ugly, Christy, when it comes down to brothers and sisters.
Yeah, readers talked about, I would say jewelry and art were the two big things. And in almost every case where a reader or listener shared a story, it resulted in somebody got the item and then somebody didn't, and then those two weren't talking anymore.
Wow. Could you imagine that?
No.
No, I
really
can't either. I can't.
I really can't. My dad, I don't think had a will. Like, we're still
really
going through a lot of stuff.
Surprises the heck out of me, by the way.
But there's really nothing that I want. He has so much memorabilia, too, because he's worked on movie sets and huge baseball fan. He's got collector's things, but I don't want any of that. I have the memories of my dad, and if Nancy wanted something, I would be like, take it.
But it's not about you wanting it, because I'm assuming that your father had some money. It's just about having it being set in stone and done easily, so that it's one less thing for you all to think about.
Yeah, true. That's
and as
true,
planned
too.
as your father was, it still surprises me to this day. I don't want to bring it up because I know that it's, it's not
personal.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
But that did surprise me. But it is, like, there's a lot of people who pass and they don't have everything completely mapped out. What were some of the stories, Christy, that your readers presented to you where it got pretty ugly?
Well, one that wasn't ugly, but it definitely could have been. A reader talked about how her mom put labels on things and verbalized her wishes, but, the verbalization doesn't always last when the person
Wait, she
died.
labeled things? Like, this is going to Stacy?
Yeah, like this piece of art is going here. And
rather like that.
Like a Post-it note?
Well, another reader talked about, she said when her grandmother and her, they were super, super close. So when her grandmother died, she had left many, many things to this woman, Jackie. Her siblings never visited her grandmother, and now they're still mad to this day that they didn't get anything and that Jackie got everything and the other grandchildren didn't. And her thing is like, well, you never paid attention to her, so yeah, she gifted it all to me. Another reader shared a story about how her mom and her sister, their mom died very early, so this woman's grandmother, but obviously she didn't know her. They were 16 when they died. The wedding ring was gifted to the sister, one of the two sisters, and they now haven't spoken in 10 years.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, because the woman took the ring and said, well, if I have a son one day, I want to be able to give this to my theoretical son to give to his theoretical fiancé if all that ever happened.
Oh, my gosh.
And they've never spoken. So these are two women who are sisters, and they haven't spoken since then.
That's sad.
Over a ring that was going to go to people who didn't even exist at the time.
What would you fight your siblings over, Christy?
Oh, gosh. Nothing. I mean, I am not, my grandfather's still alive, but many years ago he asked us all to select things that we might want.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't come up with anything specific because it sounds so cliche, but I don't look at it and think, oh, things are so incredibly important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there's other things. I would rather have a good relationship with my sisters or my aunts and things like that but I also don't see any of them kind of starting to fight and say, I need this, I want this. So I think I'm really fortunate in that regard.
Well, listen, there, and thankfully, it seems like all of us here in this room and also talking to you, it's not really a volatile situation, but it can be. Christy, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, thanks.